and what's up? So today I actually want to be talking to you about no other than Power, Mr. Power himself. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about Fifth. This man never seems to amaze me. You're probably thinking, why am I talking about Fifth? Well, the reason why I'm choosing to talk about Fifth is because he has one of the greatest shows on earth, Power and Force. But he has obviously decided to create and make some major waves in a city called Shreveport, a city in Louisiana. Now, when I think of the United States, I automatically think LA or New York. But Shreveport, no, I never think Shreveport. It's not on the East Coast, nor is it on the West Coast. It's a space where nothing much seems to really happen. However, with the latest event he did with Envy, everybody seemed to show up and show out, not just with like showcasing their cars. They had a basketball event where a few podcasters took part and actors came out. It was seemingly a movie. It seemed like the whole city turned up for the event. Now, there's probably a logical reason as to why Fifth decided to go to Shreveport, a bit like Perry in Atlanta. One key word is obviously expansion. So word on the blogs is that he's obviously opened up a filming studio. So as his storylines gets bigger and you're more creative, it only makes sense to utilize a bigger space. So let's see how that goes. One thing I will say is, I want to be in Force, but I'm on the way for that, and the film is due to be released in September. Fifth is always recruiting actors and actresses. I want to be in Force, but how do I audition for that? I know storylines have been created, but I got this scene or storyline. I'm Tommy Egan's lawyer. He comes to me because he got himself in a bit of bother, but I'm not your average lawyer, as I've got connects in high places. I'm going off tangent here, but it ends well for both parties. I love Power. Anyway, moving on swiftly. He's the only hip-hop artist turned director in the industry, which I think is good, that actually has had his series on Netflix and Stars, and they've done tremendously well. When Power started, he didn't use well-known celebrities other than himself, but everyday people, and it was absolutely fire when it first started. I remember there was another show called Empire, which was also good, but kind of fizzled out in the end. Boosie is another rapper who done a movie independently, but there was never an opportunity to watch his movie that he done independently. One thing about Fifth, and I've watched him, is that when he goes on interviews, depending on whether it's the Fallon Show or the Breakfast Club, he's very multifaceted. I say that to say this. When you listen to certain individuals in the initial line of work or industry that Fifth comes from, some are kind of one-dimensional, and there's nothing much to them. He's very different. He's an international superstar. There's so many kind of layers to him. He wears many hats, metaphorically speaking. Not only this, but Fifth comes across as an individual that is not only humble, right, but also very much in touch with the changing times. In one of his interviews, he discussed about giving back to the community, as well as building a solid foundation for years to come. I can only assume, right, by hosting the 4-day event in Shreveport, it brought more awareness to the state and essentially drove more opportunities that way. I feel like despite having a successful career as a rapper, actor, director, a cognac or drink connoisseur, I think one of the major reasons for his success has been the fact that he's still very much grounded. I feel like when you're street smart and when you apply that and navigate the corporate world with that knowledge, there's obviously nothing you can do. Now, I'm a huge fan of the series, so it's great. So it'll be great to see what happens next from Fifth, not just from the show, but other ventures he's essentially what other venture he has in the pipeline. Now, there's this artist, I forgot her name. Her name is Dochi, but her music is fire. Many of her songs in which I've listened to is phenomenal. Not only this, but I found her artwork on her album cover absolutely amazing. Her videos are very creative. She kind of reminds me of Missy with the creative flair that she has going on. She does not sound like a bubblegum rapper at all. She actually has substance to what she actually says. It's great to see other artists in other musical genres create films, not just your atypical kind of gangster film, but something with more kind of depth and more substance. Now, last but not least, Kamala Harris is obviously running. Now, last but not least, Kamala Harris is obviously has chosen her running mate. I think she made a good decision with this guy because he had already done so much great stuff for his community prior to even being elected to be her running mate. You may ask, well, what is that? May I ask? Well, when most candidates are elected, it's not really known what they've done. Well, according to what has been said, he was a former sports coach. He passed the bill after the protest, the Black Lives Matter protest. I honestly don't. Yeah, he passed the bill after the Black Lives Matter protest. He passed the bill after the Black Lives Matter protest. I honestly don't know what to assume at this point, but only time will tell whether or not he would actually make a good running mate. Usually the Democrats have their bearings together. There has never been really any major mishap. It would be good to see how they fare against the Republicans. The Republicans have a younger running mate. I think his name is Vance. It would definitely good to see how that goes. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in a comment. Peace out and take care.